All right, well, we're working on this still. This is a 24 by, I think it's 24 by 36, I think. Or, yeah, 24 by 36. And I did find a blue and just redid the background, which it was already blue, but there was like pieces of collage that were pulling away because I think I mentioned this in the other video last week that this was going to be a landscape, and I had put collage on it, but I used Mod Podge, and I don't like how that dries. It's like slickety. That's really a technical term. So I like it. It has its uses, but I don't like it in my paintings. The pieces that had like corners that were lifting because they were like card stock and stuff, I just pulled those off, and so I just filled in those white spaces. And it's a different blue, but I think we're going to go in. I put some greens out. I don't know if you can see. There we go. That's Margarita, I think. That's a mint green and a blue. Yep. Let me show you. That blue, dark blue, is a Liquitex. It's cerulean blue, and I gotta get some more. So I'll link that on my Amazon store because I'm gonna go in and get some, but that's a really good blue. And I got brushes for each color because I think I want to leave areas. I don't mind if they mix, but I don't want them all mixed. I want it to kind of be, this is our first light layer. We're going to paint over it, obviously, but I want some of that will show through, or maybe not, but I want to have those areas. So let's do the green. I wonder if I should put some water. Actually, let's spray our canvas a little bit with our spray bottle. Just dampen a little bit. Don't go crazy. I'll move that out of the way. Just so that the paint, moves around a little bit better. I might go over some of the blue that I already did, and it's going to create some green. Oops. Put it into the bird. Got a little carried away there, but that's okay. Right there, that's going to be orange anyway, so it's not a big deal. Let's see. I thought that I was going to just do this a solid color, but I've been watching abstract artists on YouTube, and I don't know, I just thought some of their backgrounds were really cool, so I think I'm gonna go lightest, although that mint green may have been the lightest, but I don't know. I'm not sure if this is water or sky or a little of both. I just know that I wanted a bird, and I didn't know what kind of bird. Just because, I think I said this in the last video, is that I want to do a lot of plein air this year out in the garden, because I grow beautiful flowers, so, and vegetables, and I have chickens now, and I just want to paint. I just want to paint all that nice stuff out in the yard. And I thought that I could paint my flowers, and I might even bring them in and do a still life or something like that, or just take flowers and put them around and incorporate my birds or some exotic birds. I want to do some parrots and doves. Oh, I'm so excited. I think that will be a lot of fun. This canvas is really too big for my easel. I just have a little tabletop easel. I put some blue out, but I don't know that the dark blue, maybe I don't really need it. But that's okay. I could oh, I like how that glazes over that, and it makes a different kind of a color, a different green. Can you see that? Probably not very well. I'll bring you over and show you. There. Can you see the... It kind of is a green anyway, but it's just really neat how it mixes with the blue, like glazes over. All right, let's try... And we're using acrylic, so rule number 1 is when you put your brush down, you put it in your water. Let's do the mint green. I probably could have used the same green because it's a green in the green family, but I have 3 of these brushes, so I'm not really lacking for... There's really no rhyme or reason where I'm putting it. It's just that filling in some lighter spots, just making sure that the whole background is covered with color. And I'm keeping it in the blues. You could do yellow too if you wanted, because I consider yellow either warm or cool. So you could do that. That's fine. I might have to find a container for that blue. I don't think that I need that. I'm gonna get green on my ceiling. Okay, let me switch you around, you can see. Now there's no white. It's either a blue or a green color. So there's no white spots. I am keeping like a halo around the bird, I think. But that's not white canvas. It's actually stencil. You can see the flowers, and then I did white over it. So that's where we're at so far. Okay, I made sure I had plenty of paint, but I didn't use it. I found a container. If I had paint tubs, I would have just probably scraped it back in. I'm just gonna call this my blue or my green mud. I don't know, we'll see. I will use this. Get it cleaner. I need a better scraper. I definitely need bigger knives. These were fine on my little paintings, but I'm working bigger now, so I need bigger and better tools. All right, that's a mess, but that's okay. I'll just let it dry. And then we'll come back and use that later on, probably in the feathers. I'll show you a technique that I want to use in building up the acrylic paint structure and make it so it sits like texturally on the canvas. So let's just let this dry. All right, while the painting was drying, I cleaned the palette. I don't know if you saw how dirty it was. I haven't cleaned that in forever. This is just a tray from a microwave that no longer is with us, but I saved the plate in there because it makes a great studio paint palette. Paint, especially the acrylic, just peels right off of it. I have a one of those big plastic palettes. It's a Bob Ross paint palette. I got that at, I think it was a yard sale or with a bunch of supplies that people give me when they're done their painting hobbies. They know that I paint, so I generally get a lot of craft hand-me-downs, which is perfectly fine. So I'm going to use this stencil again. This is the same flower stencil that we used up around the bird's face and head. I'm making another one. We made the feathers last time. We made this stencil. Where did I found a piece of plastic and I'm drawing it on the plastic. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see that? There, I drew that on with pen. I just printed off, you know, some pattern that I liked off of iStock free images that you can get. And I just did the, you know, the black, negative, positive and negative, you know. And I just am tracing around the black areas because I want that to be the cutouts. And I'm not doing every single one. I'm basically just doing the flowers and the bigger leaves. I may do these because those ones aren't too small. I don't think that I'm going to do like those or that. I don't know. I might, just because I need a lot of variety for this. So I was working on that today, but I don't have it done. So we're going to use this one again. The issue is I don't know what color. I'm not going to see this layer. This is, again, just a texture that will see the texture, but we're probably not going to see a lot of the color. I'm thinking, since it's blue and a complement color would be orange. Now we could do two options. This, like a bright orange, pumpkin orange, or this, which is kind of an orangey color. It's a browny orangish, burnt sienna. I think that I'm going to go this because it's a little bit more natural color that we would see out in nature. You could totally do this. Like I said, it's preference. Let's see. Make sure that I get enough. Probably too much, but that's okay. And I don't do the whole stencil. Just taking these flower parts and some of the leaves. That's the only thing about this plate I don't like is those ridges that, because it doesn't sit level on the table, but that's okay. This is where I need the palette knives, because I think I can get this paint to be even more textured, but that's okay. We'll just do this for this one. And space it out, because then we can come back over that and make it overlap when that's dry. There, can you see it? And I'm not gonna see, I should have put more out. It's okay. We'll just fill in what we can with this amount of paint. I'll show you. And then I'll turn it off because you don't need to watch me stencil the whole thing. And then I'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like. There. Those are the 3 that we've done so far. These are a little not well defined, but I think it's this one looks pretty good. I have a different plan, but I've already started this way, so we'll finish it. I'll show you what it looks like after.
Into the paper, you'll never get it off. So make sure your paper.
All right, we're just about done. I'm gonna fill in some areas here and there and maybe there, and then I'm gonna have to let this layer dry really, really good, because I'm gonna then paint all over this. I'm gonna go over this with a dark blue, I think. I know it's gonna be the dark blue.
Okay, so that's dry.
Because I think I want to do the roses that I'm gonna build up on the canvas. I think I'm gonna do gold leaf on them. I've never done gold leaf before, but I think that this calls for some gold leaf, and we can play around with that. That should be a ton of fun.
I like to use the actual liquid masking.
Oh, hold on. I got a another artist that I like to watch art while I do art. Who else is like that? I think I'll just do just the 2 flowers. Oh, they kind of came out kind of blobby. That's okay. Like I said, I mean, that would be nice if they came out perfect, but this is going to get painted over, so you're not really going to see it, the detail. All right, let's put this one here, and then we'll let everything dry really, really good, like overnight, so that nothing, you know, lifts or anything like that. I'll show you guys what it looks like. All right, that's what it's looking like so far. And we'll come back tomorrow and do another layer. Okay, this dried overnight, and I just feel, you know, any of the, I mean, of course it's all going to be raised because we're adding texture, but the stuff that like is really pokey. And I've just been taking my clippers and just knock back those. It doesn't have to be perfectly flat, but I don't want it to be pointy, because we're going to go back over with a different stencil, or maybe a knife, and make I'm going to do some big roses that actually come off of the canvas. So, and I did a test area down here with the dark blue. So it just looks like the first layer of the stencils that we did are more like a shadow. But you can still see some orangey red color poking through, because the color that I'm using it's very transparent blue. Of course, it's just a craft paint, but I use the rest of the bottle. I poured it out here. I'll let you see, you know, some of the process, and then we'll come back. But it's just a navy blue. If I don't have enough, of course it's probably going to be a little bit more opaque, I'm going to do my cerulean blue, which is almost gone. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do black in it, or umber, either burnt umber or raw umber. I'm not sure which, but it'll be something like that. And I wasn't going to do yellow on the toning the canvas. I'm so glad I did, because those first layers still come through. Like you're not covering them up, and that just creates so much more interest. We're just basically like glazing over and just making everything unified. And you could totally make it a glaze. My color is transparent, but if I find that I have to mix some more and it's a little bit more opaque than I want, I don't have a glazing medium, but if you did, you could use that. And watering it down is perfectly fine. That works too. You don't have to have a glazing medium. All right, I think you get the idea. I'll finish this and we'll come back and I'll show you how it looks. All right, I ran out of the pre-mixed navy and I got just that little area there. So I'll have to mix up some of my concoction, and yeah, that's where we're at so far. All right, let's mix up some blue and see how that goes. And I'm gonna use black, cerulean and black. I don't think I need a ton of black. Let's do that, because black is pretty potent. Well, that's kind of gray. Well, it's blue, but it's definitely a muted blue. Maybe do some more black. I don't know. Let's see. It's the only dark blue I have. That's the black. Let's see. That's what it looks like. Can you see? It's not really, well, I guess on the canvas it's not. Here, I'll show you. This is the original, and I put it here. It's actually not that bad. All right. So that's what it's looking like. We'll let that dry, and probably next week we'll work on the bird and getting some of the final roses on. So I want to thank you for hanging out with me and painting, and I hope that your paints flow with peace. See you next week.